Welcome, my beautiful souls. And Aries, welcome to your first month of a brand new year. This is for January 2025. Aries, sun, moon, rising. Many of you are intuitively guided. Thank you for paying attention to your intuition. You can be in love with an Aries platonically, romantically. You may have placements in Aries. I just feel whatever brought you to the reading, even if you don't even know why, that's your spirit guides. Because I do read through my spirit guides. I always invite them into our readings, and I even test them, so to speak. I don't know if test is the right word, but I'll be doing a reading, and I'll think to myself, well, if this is what I think it is, then this should be the next card. And lately, whatever I'm thinking is what comes out. Now, I don't think it's me thinking it. I think it's just me connected to the guides, our guides. Um, so definitely pay attention to your intuition in a reading. These type of readings, you should really feel them. But you can certainly ask your guides for signs of confirmation for sure. Um, you know, I'll leave that between you and your guides, but it could be, like numbers, letters, name, or really a feeling. I feel like that's really what you want to ask for. Like, let me feel it. Um, and sometimes the whole reading is for you. A lot of times the whole reading is for you. But when I read, like I understand there's different avenues to the same path. So keep that in mind. Like your avenue may look a little different, but it's still bringing you to the same path. So anyways, I'm just so grateful that you're all here. We are going to use a few different decks for your reading. We are going to use Mother Mary for her beautiful words of wisdom. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and to go deeper. Um, for your main spread, the Light Seers is what came to mind. The Light Seers. Um, normally not a deck that I pick for fire, but that's what wanted to come out. So, I mean, I think it's a good thing, actually. Um, I also brought out the Romance Angels in case love comes into the picture. And I just did a personal reading where I brought out this deck that was gifted to me along with a few other ones. Um, and I used them in a reading, but I haven't used them since. And I brought them out in a personal reading, and I was like, why am I not using these more? So these are called clarifying love situations. And I'll be honest, I have not seen the majority of them. But I really like experiencing, a new card with you here. We are going to use the major arcanas. They're back again for like bullet points, but many times they're their own little story, but they'll still relate. I feel like every layer will relate to the other, where ultimately we get that big picture at the end. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring the lid down. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Once coffee gets cold or warm, I don't like it anymore. All right, let's give Mother Mary a shuffle. And for anyone who's new, I do shuffle all the decks for quite a while before I begin a reading. It's it puts me in a very meditative state, very calming state. I actually love it. So, and I'm just thinking about you. All right, Mother Mary. Mother Mary. Blessings. Blessings. Today I count my blessings small and large, and I notice the new gifts that come to me from God. It's like gratitude. Today I count my blessings, small and large, and I notice the new gifts that come to me from God. And then we have health. This has been coming up a lot for January, but then I think of, resolutions that people make, and a lot of people make it around their health. My prayers for healing miracles have been heard and answered. My prayers for healing miracles have been heard and answered. I notice the new gifts coming to me. It's interesting because I feel like the better you feel, I feel the more it's almost like I feel you are like you're seeking adventure or you're accepting adventure. Where if you're not feeling well, I feel the opposite. I mean, I guess that only makes sense, but I feel that intuitively. Um, well, hello, Justice kind of flipped itself around. So we will take a look at it. Justice can talk about cutting of ties. Remember in 2025, we are in a universal year 9. It literally is the last push to clear away. And I feel like, and a lot of universal and divine help to help you clear away like those final cobwebs. It's getting you ready for 2026, which will be a universal year 1, the year of the magician. But do I think you have to wait that long to carry that energy? I don't. I feel like, it's like, okay, I'll do what you ask of me, 9, but once I'm done, let me move on. And you do. 9 is about final reflection. You can go back to 2017. From that point on, how have you grown? What have you learned? What are some things that you overcome that while you were in it, you thought there was no way you'd overcome it, but yet you did? It's about the power you have gained through your experiences and not judging yourself. What's that saying? You do better when you know better. We have beautiful temperance, divine timing, but she comes with a message, which is patience. Patience, my child. Patience within divine timing. So something coming about. Kind of felt that right from the get-go. Like Aries is seeking an adventure. We have the Chariot. And then we have the Death card. So as people, though I don't really read them as people, but some of you, I know you want the name recognized. We have Temperance, Cancer, and Scorpio. Interesting because it feels like Temperance is like, I know you want what I have, but you can't have it until certain doors closed. It's almost like, and I don't normally feel like Temperance is forcing our hand, but it feels like one doesn't fit with the other. So if I want one thing, but it's almost like, does it exist on a different dimension, so to speak? Vibration. All right. Let's do one more round, see if anything else wants to come out. The Chariot right now is right in the middle, and that speaks about unlimited potential. It's almost like divine is giving you that energy, the way, but it comes with almost like a demand, but in the most loving of ways. All right, that's a lot. I'm gonna take them. And I'm thinking Aries, um, you're not what I would call real patient sign, but then again, it's because of the fire in your belly, so to speak. And that's why it makes me leery. Like, do I take all these cards? But I kind of feel like they want to be here. We have the High Priestess. I feel like for some of you are like, what door are you talking about, Sandy? It's like your intuition, your soul is like, you know, you know. We have the Fool. Look at that, a new beginning, free and clear of the past. It means free and clear of the lessons of the past. And now you have the wisdom of the past. Now you have the power that comes with that. But the Fool is really just carefree, seeking that adventure. It is about taking a leap of faith, but I feel like without doubt this Fool will take a leap of faith, especially because he's looking right at the High Priestess. The High Priestess, I feel, is one of the Fool's mentors, and the High Priestess teaches the Fool that your intuition, I am your GPS in this lifetime. I will guide you. How you use your phone, Google to guide you. That's what your intuition does. Okay. We have the Hermit. Wow. Okay. So reflection. Wow. A lot more cards than I thought. Card of Virgo, by the way. We have the Wheel. And then we have, look who made it back out, Justice. Well, I mean, almost everybody made it out. It's almost like who didn't make it out? Who didn't make the cut? Who did I have to use this sword on? By using that sword, you bring yourself balance. And interesting that now what's mirroring temperance is justice, divine justice, right? But it feels like it takes your human action. And I feel like that's a little bit, it's interesting because sometimes I feel like divine is waiting on us. So that patience, sometimes I think it's divine having patience with us, which she will. It's kind of like when you're ready, right? And it's kind of fitting here, especially with what I was talking about earlier, where I felt like, do you have to stay in the energy of reflection, clearing the past, all year long? And I felt like no, because I felt you seeking that adventure. And it's interesting, you have the universal year right here. And by the way, the Hermit, which really does speak about your spirituality, again, another gift that you carry. These are your gifts. These are the tools that you've been given to live life here on earth. Many times you feel like what the heck? But we have these tools. We just got to figure it out. The Hermit, sometimes it can represent going through a dark night of the soul, something like pretty difficult. Something can bring you to your knees, but it ultimately brings you enlightenment. It's almost like, God saying, sure, you call on me. You call on me when you're down on your knees, but you don't call on me when you're in the Fool's energy. But I feel like that changes. Now, however your faith is. Anyways, the Hermit's wisdom. And I do feel like the hermit it represents like an old soul, someone who's lived the life path of the one through the eight and is now here to really gain spiritual wisdom. It's like learning how energy works. How can it's like, can you manifest? The answer is yes. Do you know that? Do you trust that? It's kind of like everything is waiting on you to use this sword, which ultimately closes this door, which intuitively I feel like you already know, that then opens up what divine has been waiting for to present. Don't forget we have blessings here, which sets you out on a new adventure. And I love that the fool is like looking right at the high priestess. Gives me a sense that you'll really trust your intuition. And I like that. And I kind of love, all of a sudden I'm feeling like the hermit illuminating the wheel. It feels like good karma. Like I've been creating good karma. Not that I meant to, not that I knew I was, but here I am. I find that I am. Maybe that is through your spirituality. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of spiritual awakenings this year. And with the spiritual awakening, um, you know what you know what you know. And you can't even hide from yourself. Like the truth is the truth is the truth. That might be why I said with the fool, um, that I felt like a lot of you already knew. All right, let's bring in the light seers. Excuse me. So we added Libra to the mix. I don't know if I said that or not. Look at this right off the bat. Two cups. Look at this. The fool. What's going on here, Aries? And then, hello, Judgment, your spiritual team. What is your spiritual team doing here? They're calling you to the present moment. Interesting that they're falling under the death card. And it is like you're connecting to your higher self, your higher wisdom. I mean, hello, soulmates. And with temperance, I often feel that's one of the things she's doing. She's making sure, like, she's responsible for bringing soulmates together, but she wants to make sure, if nothing else, that they're on the same vibrational level. Well, now we have two fools and two cups, and judgment saying, I need you in the present moment. And one of the main reasons is because I'm going to help guide you. This is not something you have to put a lot of worry behind. I will just help guide you. This is about, the death cards talks about transformation and judgment talks about rebirth. I don't know. Did I just see a bug? I feel like something just hopped over there. Let's hope it didn't hop in my coffee. All right. Wow. I have to say, with the soulmates aside, I feel like this feels like a great time for you. This feels like a period of time when, and maybe it is after this reflection that the hermit goes through, where you truly feel free, light, unencumbered. Hierophant. It's about your faith, your belief. Do you still believe in dreams? Some of you might want to say 1111, make a wish, wish upon a star, wishes do come true. Do you believe that? I feel like coming under the high priestess, definitely that feels like a very strong connection. Hmm. Like I feel that connection so strongly, almost like I'm astral traveling into a higher dimension. Fives can speak of change. Well, they do speak of change. And it could just be asking you to trust, have faith that, this adventure, whatever you're starting on, definitely feels worth it. But I feel like, but you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith. Hope. It's almost like I'm choosing to be happy. I'm choosing to put a smile on my face. And I do that every once in a while. Like if I just feel down for no reason, I'll make myself smile, or I'll watch something funny. You know what I mean? So that I'm like my energy changes and it works. All right, we have the Page of Wands under the Fool. Looks like your inner child. I call the Page of Wands my risk taker all the time, and I relate this page back to the Fool because I feel like this page is very carefree. And for some of you, it's like your old energy. Maybe I used to be carefree. Some of you could be starting on a journey that maybe started when you were younger, whether it be something you're doing, someone you know. Hmm. Five of Cups under the Hermit. And then the Seven of Swords. Interesting. Under the Wheel. That's interesting. Um, that's interesting because Five of Cups is first thing we got to recognize is the five. And anytime you see a five, you want to question what does it mean? What does it want? Five of Cups is asking you, where's your focus? What are you focusing on? And in the Five of Cups, I'm focusing on what I have lost. And that may be what even brought some of you to, like, let's just call it the dark night of the soul. But again, it's about change. So maybe that's why I was talking about making myself smile. Because when this person, you know, is not focusing on that any longer, well, there's two cups behind him. And in the first card we see, um, with the light seers is the Two of Cups. Now, unfortunately, Seven of Swords is next to that. But it's coming under the wheel. So it feels like lessons. And it could have been difficult lessons. Could have been someone who maybe you loved. Um, they call the Seven of Swords thief in the night. Usually comes from like a lack mentality, the taker. Hmm. I'm not going to say that, well, it sits on the wheel. So, there's some type of lesson within that. And, I'm thinking, is that who you miss? Is that who you're thinking about? See what follows. Now, it's not mirroring the soulmate because one more card goes there. So let's see what's mirroring the soulmates. The Four of Pentacles. Kind of the opposites of the Seven of Swords. Under justice. Stability. Usually talks about a firm foundation. Well, the Seven of Swords wouldn't create that. I get a feeling like there may have been someone that, had my heart for a while, but I do feel like they carried some type of untrustworthy energy. I don't feel they were stable. I don't feel you were balanced in that energy. And I feel like that's what your soul's really seeking. Now, and it's interesting because it's a four that's mirroring the soulmate. So two and two is four. Interesting. Two what do you call them? Uneven numbers side by side, and it kind of feels that way. And I feel like there's where the sword comes in. Unless there's been like miraculous healing. Um, ugh, I just don't know. Well, I don't feel that. Let me put it that way. But let's keep going. I can't believe I'm taking so many cards. It's telling quite the story. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Look at that under the Two of Cups. Well, that's like love and abundance. Love and money. We have the Ace of Wands under the fold. Beautiful. Inspired action. So just like I felt up here, where your guide said, we will guide you. Here it is. And I love that it's sitting next to the Ten of Pentacles. So, and Temperance like being the one who's really ushering this all in, the soulmates, and then them having the Ten of Pentacles, House of Abundance, house that can take root. That's what I think of the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like the roots go so deep. Some of you, this could be another, you like, I don't know. I feel like maybe you had previous lives and who knows, maybe this was like an ultimate lesson and now it's like the ultimate reward. We have the Nine of Cups, inner harmony. So again, what's been keeping this inner harmony away? What's been keeping you feeling unbalanced? The energy is so beautiful over here. It's just so weird that the Five of Cups and the Seven of Cups came out. But I guess that's real life. So the Nine of Cups is about inner harmony. It's mirroring the Death card. Nine of Cups is also about fulfillment of wishes. It's like you're being guided. Like both are being answered. You just need to do one simple, well, I'm saying simple. There may be nothing simple about it, but worth it? Yes. We have 1-9, which is the Hermit, which is really deep energy, going deep, finding the light within. Many are figuring out that like you carry healing energy and you're just spreading it in the world, which is needed. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, number one. But then just think of that energy and think of how the law of attraction works. Like where you're at is where the universe must meet you. So if one of the things that's coming in is a soulmate, then we know this soulmate is also on the similar vibration. And that's a really good thing. I do feel like some of you may be praying for the way to be shown, or even asking your guides. And, they're answering your call. Um, but I feel like, but it does take human action, like it does the magician. Well, there you go. From the 9 to the 1. Marrying the high priestess. You know, it's like you know who you are now. That's what it feels like. And, maybe some of you are still like in the hermit energy, but I just hope you can see like the confidence, the spirituality, the trust in your guides, um, the letting go of the heaviness, like new beginnings, adventures. I hope you can see it all. Inner harmony, fulfillment of wishes, and then Mother Mary brings out blessings. But it's all wrapped around a door. Some of you, I don't know how it cannot be within that Seven of Swords, but now we have justice. And interesting because, you know, using that sword of justice, it's mirroring the full free. I'm free. I'm balanced. And it's even showing her balanced, like a big smile. And it's like the higher self recognizing the strength and the courage of the current self. Like, good for you. I knew we could do it. Some of you may have learned, like, within that Seven of Swords could have been a karmic lesson. And, sometimes I feel like, let's say it's love. Sometimes I feel like it's simply learning that, learning your own worth. And when you know your own worth, then those who like enjoy lower vibrational energy, who can tempt us into it, and oftentimes do, um, and they're more than happy to be in that energy. But you start to evolve. You know what I mean? Like things pique your interest and you find yourself on this spiritual journey, so to speak. So you yourself are evolving. And those who don't and things that don't naturally want to fade away. And this is the year of that final push. We have the Eight of Pentacles, interesting, mirroring the Hermit, which is you using your spirituality, your light. And for some of you, especially with the Ten of Pentacles at the other end here, some of you are working from home and you might just start seeing the fruits of your labor. It may just start coming and never stop, like abundance. You do have to focus on it, but you can have your focus in more than one place, and I think it's a good idea too. This could even be, it's interesting because it's like justice, maybe using the sword of justice immediately. It's like you potentially beginning something new. I feel like it's when you feel much more creative. Why? Because you feel free. You feel free to be you. I feel like here I may have given my time away, my energy away. Don't regret it because again, it's on the wheel and there is something you've learned, and who knows, maybe it's part of what you will eventually do, if not already. I mean, this is a beautiful line. Really, you have a lot of beautiful cards out. I also feel, it's interesting because it feels like it could be the heartache that eventually is what caused the spiritual awakening, at least piqued the interest. It may have led you on a completely different path, different than you expected, but it feels like a very abundant path. I also feel like that's a great way of getting over love is focusing your mind on something creative. You never know. You never know. When I first started tarot, did I think that I'd be doing it all these years? No, I knew nothing. And I really had to learn to trust my intuition. I have to tell you, I've learned so much. I really have. Doesn't mean I always use it, you know? Like, just because we read it doesn't mean that we ourselves are doing it, though we should. Anyway, and it feels like the opportunity to do something that you'll love doing anyway. It's also the energy of being willing to go into something like as the apprentice, meaning you don't need to know everything. You'll learn as you go. And one day, you do become the master. You do master it. Page of Pentacles, learning. Under the Seven of Swords. Feels more and more like a karmic lesson. Probably came through a person. Well, not probably. It's interesting because I feel like once I understand that this was probably a lesson. And one of the things I feel like it taught you, again, was self esteem, your own worth. It taught you a lot. You may not, you may not know that when you're going through it. You may not know that for a while, but it is like now a sense of your power because it is also now that wisdom is part of your destiny. And if it's a karmic lesson and you've learned it, which the Page of Pentacles would represent you learning it, you've learned it forever, for eternity. I mean, that's pretty awesome. We have the Page of Swords. 2 pages here. No, 3 pages. And then look at that death card again on the bottom. But look what it says, death, rebirth. So, yeah, it might be an ending to one thing, but that means it's the beginning of something else. And boy, do I feel like I want this to begin. All right. I don't think I'm going to clarify every card just because we took so many cards. But what a story it told. Um, looking at this Page of Pentacles is looking over the Page of Swords, and she's like reading something. She's reading a book. From that book, she's getting like all types of ideas, epiphanies. So again, I feel like it's representing you. Um, and not necessarily like a book, though I won't leave that off the table. I just feel like it's ideas, like maybe you're really meant to not just, first of all, the soulmates, that's got to be love. But the Ten of Pentacles, but with the Eight of Pentacles tells me you are a big part of creating abundance. And it feels like from maybe lessons learned, maybe some of it came from, watching videos, other reading books. Um, but the majority of it is coming through the Ace of Wands, which is your spiritual team. Temperance is about divine timing. When is the right time? When do I know my Aries will thrive in this energy and not deny it? All right, so I think what I'm going to do is just go across the middle. Um, Feels very clear to me. I hope it feels that way to you. First and foremost, I know I feel like I keep saying this, but I feel it's important that you know that first and foremost, this reading is talking about you and your potential. And it is true. Like when you really believe in yourself, like when you jump into the fool's energy, that is of a higher vibrational energy. And it just makes sense that what would come back would be of a good vibrational energy. Six of Swords. It's like temperance is like letting you know what is this divine timing about? What is it? What is it you're waiting for? Why do I have to close the door? This is you moving on. You got to go back one card and be like, hey, what am I moving on from? Toxicity in any form. One of them is from that Seven of Swords. I feel like the swords I take along are the lessons because they're mine, but it's no longer allowing it to affect you. Now, it can be temporarily difficult energy because, there is a change. Maybe it isn't quite what I thought. Maybe I'd hoped that the person in the Seven of Swords would change. But, hopefully you understand that this is about what's new. So you're letting go. Let's put it right there. You're letting go. You're doing exactly what's being asked. Also think of what your personal year number is, um, especially throughout this year. I don't know why, especially because this year, all years, but how you do that is you just add your birth month. So, whatever month you were born to your birthday, the day of your birth, and then you add that to a nine. So, mine, for example, is September 13th. So, you add that nine plus the one plus the three, and then plus a nine, which is the universal year number. That equals a 22. So that is a master number. So this year I am the master builder. um, so a master number 11, 22, 33, and 44, you leave it there. That's what your personal year is going to be. But let's say it equaled 25 or 23. You'd add the 2 plus the 3, which would be a 5. Your personal year is a 5. I don't know. I'm saying that because I feel like there's someone who has a personal year 6. And that can definitely be about relationships, but what's working, what's not working. We have the strength card. Beautiful. That's courage. And then the Hierophant. So you believed after all. Look at that, the strength card there. It's like the courage to do what you felt called to do. It's following what you knew you needed to do. And then it's allowing, like being open to the possibility of what exists. Also following your ideas. The strength card right after the Six of Swords tells me that this is energy you probably won't stay in long. The strength card is about you finding that courage within. And then the Hierophant. Well, I feel like, hello, you followed your belief. I feel like you're naturally just, for better lack of word or term, you're at a higher vibrational energy or in or about to be, let's say. We have the Three of Pentacles, and then we have the King of Pentacles. Excuse me, King of Pentacles. Actually, the way I'm doing it, let me do it fairly. Let's at least give each one a card. Okay. I don't know if that's the way I meant to do it. Look at this, the Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. Beautiful. This means that something is coming into your physical world. It may start as a seed, but it has a promise of becoming a beautiful rose bush. I don't know. Like whatever it is you want it to be. It's your nurturing. It's your focus on it that grows it. And I feel like there's really no limit on it. But it does talk about something in your physical world. And then you have the Three of Pentacles over here, which speaks about your individuality and a craft, let's say. But it's about other people admiring what you do. It's about recognition and reward with the magician underneath it and the Hierophant above it and the high priestess. So, feeling good within your own skin, feeling true to yourself. And boy, does it feel like it pays off. I'm like a little torn with the King of Pentacles. So we'll keep going, but we'll come back. There's Temperance. Look at that. Right by the Ace of Pentacles. Right over, how interesting, right over the Page of Swords, connected to that Seven of Swords. Boy, do I now know it was a karmic lesson. Because now divine is involved, and literally, I feel like she is telling us, at least for the majority, right where the issue was. And I feel like once I recognize that, wait a minute, what did I learn? How have I grown? You know, do I believe in me and my dreams? And do I put focus on it? Temperance is like just waiting for you. Doesn't even have to mean that you've taken action yet, but you start asking yourself those questions. You start thinking about the potential of you. I don't even think that you think about this soulmate because, in a way, I feel like you're still overcoming who's in the Seven of Swords energy, but now you're looking at it differently, which I feel like takes a lot of the weight out of it. And then the Ace of Pentacles coming over that energy, it's like, and Temperance being right next to it is like, boy, do I think you're meant to meet this soulmate. But it definitely feels like it had to be the right time because I don't know. Let's say I was still hung up, and some of you may be somewhat. I don't know. We have the Seven of Cups, and then we have the Magician, which I'm putting with the Seven of Cups. Choosing a cup, the Magician, coming over that energy. It's like you've been manifesting it all along. You just didn't know it. I'm noticing the number eight, infinity, as above, so below. That makes sense with all this divine energy. She's actually looking right at the magician. And not only are you taking your wisdom, but you're taking your knowledge, if that makes sense. And it's like it's all part of this new journey. It doesn't have to mean all parts of your life are changing. Something's changing, which I feel like ultimately will change the rest of your life, but in a very good way. Like I feel no reason why I should not go forward. It has to be up to you. But if it was me, I would go forward because you don't know what you don't know until you know it. However, it's like your higher self is arguing with me now, like, well, you do. You have to trust it. All right. I think I'm going to just look at this King of Pentacles. I really did not mean to take this many cards. Holy cow. Like, extended reading Aries. All right. Let's look at this King of Pentacles. The reason why I'm questioning him is, I don't know. I don't really feel like a whole lot of negative energy. But he's coming over justice and he's coming over, or he's coming over an energy of you. Like, I feel like moving away from that. Doesn't have to be an earth sign. It could stand for loyalty. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so excuse me. I don't feel like this is anyone bad. I shouldn't use the word bad. Hermit. Interesting. One more. The Eight of Pentacles. Interesting because all of a sudden I am getting this feeling that maybe not for everyone. Um, first of all, second of all, I want to say, man, is this a time to take to follow your interest? This is a time, like, I feel like this is a very abundant time for you. I feel like that is first and foremost. And it is due to your own life experiences and maybe your book knowledges. I feel like for some of you, you're bringing like certain gifts to life. Um, and it just feels right. Some of you are working from home, but you don't have to be. I just feel I feel abundant. Now, back to this king. I'm just thinking because he's coming right next to the hermit, which is a Virgo, and the hermit's illuminating your money house again. And the Ace of Pentacles is also above the hermit. Seven of Pentacles is your tree of life. And we know one of these pentacles, or what I like to call one of your soul's seed of intention, is coming into fruition because here it is, and you're doing something with it. And he may be part of it. So now I think we'll go to look at that Four of Wands. Hmm. That's the marriage card. Commitment. It's almost like my guides wanted me to make it clear before I left because I was just getting ready to leave. Not leave, I was going to bring a different deck out. It's the marriage card. Sometimes divine temperance will say, trust me, it's worth the wait. But to think that you don't have purpose other than to love someone is not true because you yourself have purpose. Whatever it may be, like don't like be wondering, oh my God, what is my purpose? It's something you just naturally stumble upon. You know what I mean? It's not something you gotta like think about. Um, and it can be of a material thing. Sometimes I feel like those are like killers in that. You think that you can't make money, and we don't make a lot of money, but I also feel like God knows we need money to survive, otherwise, how could we do what we do? Um, all right. It's almost like we don't really need the romance angels because it's pretty clear. We open it with soulmates, we close it with the marriage card. It's talking about what's coming into your life in divine timing. So, I'm not going to necessarily say it can't be with some you already know, but it's not representing that. It's really representing a fresh new beginning or even a fresh start. So, I'm not, again, I won't say it won't be with someone you know. I guess that's up to them. But I feel like because you're already at a certain vibration, don't lower your vibration to be with someone else. Don't lower your standards. They have to raise theirs or they got to keep on going. Forgiving and learning. Interesting. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. You got to release it. You got to heal it. That means you're not going to carry it with you. Maybe what you are learning is it was a lesson. And it might have been a difficult lesson. But man, don't forget Mother Mary. Her very first card is blessings. I feel like after difficult lessons, there are amazing blessings. Two of Cups. But not just the Two of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. So, love of the highest, abundance of the highest. It's important that we learn that. And I know, you know, like I've gotten that before, and I've gotten some comments where people are saying how could you say I should forgive? That has to be up to you. I'm not saying it. It's up to you. I know I have. And I've had some horrendous things happen in my life. I've also had some beautiful blessings in my life. But I have had horrendous, especially early in my life. Um, and I'm talking about when I was a young adult. But I overcame all that, you know. And there's many times I think I shouldn't even be alive, but I am. So I don't know. Why am I talking about that? Look at this. True love. How could it not be? How could it not be? This is a romance of a lifetime. So I feel like what this is saying is allow yourself to be the fool, to don't be afraid to chase a dream. I feel like as it relates to love, it's more about just your vibration itself. You're open. You yourself, it's like, you're spiritually evolving. And therefore, again, what must come back to you must be of that energy. If it's not, you'd have red flags all day long. Now, it is up to you whether you ignore them or you don't. And let's face it, many times we do ignore them, and then we pay the price. But, anyways, this is not talking about that. This is talking about true love. And I feel like because we have the fool twice, but it is also telling us it's a soulmate energy and it's part of your destiny. I feel like it's about the journey. It's the journey to get to the Four of Wands. Let's not skip it. Let's enjoy it. All right. I think I'm gonna leave it there, Aries, because I feel like if I make it too long, it might turn off even those who do stay to the end. So I think I'm gonna let that be. But wow, I mean, what a story the cards told. And I want to thank your guides, my guides. I want to thank you, truly. I'm just kind of blown. I'm blown away by your reading. You know, that's why I love tarot because every reading is like a story to me. And you know, it's like I get to jump into you. I get to jump into Aries for a moment. And wow, like it's a good time to be Aries. Or some of you are intuitively guided, but you're feeling it. It's a good time to be you. I love you guys. I thank you guys. I'm going to stop talking now. I'm losing my voice. Um, love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.